Eagles team news is that Rex Pfluger, who picked up an injury in the cup final on Sunday, he doesn't make tonight's start.
Yeah, it didn't look a particularly good injury, so I expect he could be out for a while. And as you say, it was, I don't know, 4 to 6 weeks ago since the Flyers were last year, and you don't need a good memory to remember it wasn't a particularly good game, and it certainly wasn't a very good performance from the Flyers. Although, you know, there's only one winner in basketball, as you know, Jeff. There's no such thing as a draw, and sometimes when you lose, you at least look to think you've made progress, and I don't think Flyers made any progress on that game. And I think since then there's something like 1-5, and in that same time the Eagles have firmly established themselves in the top 3 and picked up the first silverware of the season. And I guess on that evidence you would be thinking it would be a...
Well, Eagles win, you would think, yeah, but as you say, it doesn't always work that way. I mean, one thing I am looking at quite interesting enough is the Bristol lineup. No Zach Copeland, I see on the team sheet. The 6'4" guard who has been averaging 9 points, 3.2 assists and 2.3 rebounds. He hasn't made it. So again, they've lost one of the players, but this Justin Baker who's come in, he's a very well-travelled player. I think he's played in about 11 or 12 different countries. He went to a Utah Valley University, but graduated way back in 2011, so it's only his 3rd game. And Josh Wiltshire obviously is coming back off a bad injury, and this is only his 2nd game. He played last week, he played 14 minutes last week and scored 9 points. I think they've quite heavily loaded in the backcourt with Wiltshire and also Ben Mockford and Teddy Okafor, both Great Britain players and current Great Britain squad players as well, but it's whether or not they can cope with the Eagles, probably the forwards, Evan Maxwell and the BBL MVP, Cup Final MVP, Justin Gordon, who was superb on Sunday, I thought.
Yeah, well, you've mentioned that, the new guys they're bringing in who weren't available for that last game of backcourt. Well, you're not going to get much better of a backcourt in the BBL than you got when you got Roman Fletcher and Cortez Edwards there. You know, the other thing as well about this Eagles team, you watch them play, they've got 3 All-Stars. They've got 3 guys who are genuine MVP candidates in every game. Roman Fletcher, Cortez Edwards and Justin Gordon. That's a tough start, and then you've got, backing them up, you've got Maxwell who can have big numbers in some games. You'd be a lot happier if Evan could bring to his game, getting rid of some of these careless, silly defensive errors he makes. And obviously Rex is not available tonight, but there's 3 guys who normally come off the bench who always give impact in terms of Louis Sayers, Drew Lasker and Darius Defoe. He'll just go on forever. I thought he's been absolutely superb in the last few games, and sometimes he's helped them turn a game. I thought it was immense. You know, I mean, London will look to the fact they were a little bit short-handed, but from the Eagles' point of view, they won it. You can only play what's in front of you. But they did have to go through Leicester to get there in that semi-final. And Darius, I thought, was absolutely outstanding in that semi-final.
Yeah, and even on Sunday, I thought his defensive work was exceptional. I mean, 6 points, but he had 10 rebounds, and 9 of those, I think, were defensive rebounds as well. And, you know, that's what he brings. And also, you know, what the other point that I was going to make is Shohei Adeniran. You know, he's had another week's practice with the team, another week to settle in. So, you know, hopefully he'll be coming off the bench for the Eagles and adding his heightened power to the front court. Be interesting to see. Just having a look at the starting 5s though. For the Eagles, it's the usual, starting 4 anyway, with Evan Maxwell, Roman Fletcher, Cortez Edwards, Justin Gordon, and it's Louis Sayers who takes Rex Pfluger's place in the starting 5. For Bristol, it's Ben Mockford and Teddy Okafor in the backcourt with Marcus Del Pesce at centre, and Eric Lockett and Eric Lockett and Daniel Edozie. Daniel Edozie, obviously the captain. Daniel Edozie, who had a pretty good game in the cup quarter final, which Bristol lost here. 13 points, 12 rebounds and 6 assists. But unfortunately, there wasn't a lot of support. The top scorer in that game actually was Eric Lockett with 14 points. So we'll see. Bristol, as you say, coming in with a 3-5 record, but recently really struggled. 1-5 in the last 6 games.
Yeah. And have I got this right? Justin Baker's not starting?
That's right, Justin Baker. Well, he's only, as I say, he's only played 2 games. He's only been here sort of 2 or 3 weeks. So we'll wait and see what happens with him. And as I said before, so players take the knee just before the ball goes up from referee Kate Unsworth. Actually, I'm just looking at Zach Copeland, it was, who top scored the last time they were here. So, ball's up. Evan Maxwell wins the tip. Louis Sayers picks it up and gives it to Rowan Fletcher, and we're underway here at the Eagles Community Arena. Eagles on the offence. Cortez Edwards to Sayers. Sayers tries to find Edwards inside. And tough pass, but Edwards put his hand up and said feels he should have taken that pass from. It was a really nice cut, and Sayers spotted it well, but unfortunately Edwards couldn't take the ball in. So it's the first turnover for the Eagles, and end line ball. Dozy gives it to Okafor, who we can imagine will see a lot of the ball tonight. It's Delpesh.
Well, I expect Delpesh will step up more than he did in the previous game here, because he is capable of putting big numbers on the score sheet.
Here's Ben Mockford for 3, and he's knocked that one down. Ben Mockford only scored 7 points in that cup quarter final here, and he's off to run 3 more points already. Cortez Edwards at the other end from Fletcher's outlet pass. Coasts in, knocks down a 2-point jumper.
Can't believe the Bristol defence hasn't at some point in time studied some video about how Cortez Edwards plays and how easily he can slip into the middle of the key if you don't push him to the sidelines.
Good reply though by Bristol was Eric Lockett for 2. He has Cortez Edwards trying a 3. That's well off. Ben Mockford picks the ball up. Teddy Okafor picks the ball up.
This is a guy I haven't seen a lot of, to be honest.
Well, again, he's in the Great Britain squad at the moment. He's only averaging 7 points a game, but he's also averaging nearly 6 assists a game. As Bristol get us off to an early start here with 2 points there from Marcus Delpesh. 7-2 lead. Louis Sayers in the corner for 3. That one doesn't even hit the rim. Taken by Odozie, and off comes Okafor again. Good start from Bristol. Odozie drives on Maxwell, turns, spins. Shot is off. Maxwell takes a rebound. Fletcher now takes the ball over the halfway line, looking to set something up for the Eagles. Nice pass inside to Maxwell, who's missed it, but Cortez Edwards up there for the offensive rebound. Missed the first shot, but got up again and tipped it in for 2 points. Edwards, all 4 of Eagles' points. They trail by 3.
Picking up on Sky commentator Anthony Rowe, he was talking about Edwards, and what he was talking about is something that admires me about him is how good he is at rebounding. He's 6'1" or whatever he is, and he's great at both ends of the floor. He just knows how to go and get those boards.
Yeah, I think it's anticipation and placement, isn't it? Knowing the right spot, right place at the right time. Bristol turned the ball over on that last offense, and here's Fletcher bringing it up for the Eagles. Looking to get back, and then nice pass into Maxwell. Maxwell for 2 from the corner, from the elbow, and in it goes. Evan Maxwell's first points of the game. Maxwell averaging 15, almost 15.5 points a game for the Eagles. Here's Lockett. He's driving against Fletcher. It's good hands by Justin Gordon, but Lockett recovered. Gets the offensive rebound. Gordon from behind twice, but Lockett stuck with it and managed to get the ball in.
9-6 lead to Flyers. They deserve it, because to tell you right now, the Eagles have not got into their defensive sets correctly at all.
That was a nice bit of play there. Cortez Edwards saved the ball on the end line, got it into Evan Maxwell, and he found Louis Sayers cutting to the basket, and a left-handed layup brings the Eagles back to within 1. Here's Okafor. Already seeing an awful lot of the ball, gets that ball into Delpesh, and that's going to be a foul on Evan Maxwell. It's a good block at first by Evan Maxwell, but didn't get the ball cleanly, and Delpesh was able to recover.
Well, defence, Jeff, it starts the moment the opposition gets the basketball. The moment the opposition get the basketball, and particularly as they move it down the floor, you need to move into the right position when you're playing defence off the ball. And Maxwell was absolutely nowhere near the right position there when he was playing defence off the ball.
Delpesh puts the first one up and misses.
I think they had, 3 attempts at that before they finally got put to the line?
Marcus Delpesh, 56% free throw shooter. Very unusual style, but he gets the second. Went up a long way and took a long time to come down, but it rolled in off the rim, and that gives Flyers a 2-point lead at 10-8. Pressure on Edwards. Maxwell has it battered away by Edozie, now double teamed. Justin Gordon gives it to Fletcher on the wing. Fletcher for 3. That's just too far. Good rebound by Eric Lockett. Off and running straight away. He's going to go coast to coast. And does go coast to coast very impressively. Lays it in for 2. Bristol coming out with a lot of energy and a big press as well, Dave.
Yeah.
Sayers in the corner, but he just turns down the 3 and gets it inside to Maxwell. Maxwell can't get a pass away. Fletcher can't to Gordon. Gordon goes inside. And that's 2 points for Justin Gordon. His first points of the game.
Yeah, they'll come out with that press. I think the Eagles will pretty soon work that out, because there's a massive, great big hole right in the centre of the court, which is the last place the press wants to give up ground.
Walker 4. Oh, nice play from Bristol, but it's going to be 2 points. Looked like a good block from Evan Maxwell, but it was goaltending.
I guess that was given because he hit the backboard.
Yeah,
because it was a good block, excellent block.
I think he's hit the backboard with he's blocked the ball with his right hand and hit the backboard with his left hand. Cortez Edwards gets the ball inside to Gordon, and that's going to be a foul.
Yeah, Jeff, that's 3 times in a row the Eagles have found that hole in that Bristol defence. And if they can keep getting the ball there, they could tack on the wings like they did there. It could be a good night for them.
Gordon fouling the act of shooting.
The back defender in that Plymouth press has got to be communicating to his teammates, and he's got to be reading that who's going to take, or telling somebody, or taking it himself. Otherwise, the Eagles will have a great night getting the ball just at the head of the key outside the 3-point line.
First substitution of the game sees Marcus Delpesh taking a break. Gordon at the line makes the first, and Justin Baker, number 65, comes on for Bristol.
The one thing I do remember about Bristol from that first game is they were very hungry for offensive rebounds, and that's what they are tonight as well.
Justin Gordon makes both.
Want all 5 Eagles players taking good position, and when the shot goes up, and taking responsibility for boxing out.
Fletcher pressuring up before, but he gets it away. Offensive foul called inside the key on Daniel Edozie. On Evan Maxwell trying to create some space.
Sometimes I've difficulty with those decisions about moving screen, but that was absolutely blindingly obvious one.
Maxwell and Sayers take a seat for the Eagles, and Defoe and Matthew come on. Gordon gives it to Fletcher, guarded by Mockford. Fletcher over halfway, gives it into Matthew. Matthew in the corner to Edwards. Edwards cuts inside, tries to put it off the glass, doesn't make it, but gets his own rebound. That's exactly what Dave was talking about. That's a great, wow, what a play that was. That's got everybody in the place up off their feet. Darius Defoe somehow saw Justin Gordon cutting to the basket, and he just took off and smashed it down Tomahawk style one-handed. What a player that was indeed.
Justifying what you call him, just in flight.
Just in flight, yeah. And there he's at the defensive at the other end, gets his hand behind the ball and gets it away to Edwards. And Edwards got it to Fletcher. Fletcher's layup didn't go in, but Gordon again on the trail puts it in for 2, and that's the Justin Gordon minute there, Dave.
You know, the one thing about him that's not obvious, that you don't necessarily think about, but often when the Eagles come out a little bit flat, he's the guy who ignites them.
Yeah,
he can do it in a number of ways. I mean, remember that one-handed pass he took above the ring and way back before Christmas. But here he is, absolutely bringing the game to life there with his steal and those great touches around the basket, and the way he's sprinting down the floor in transition as well.
Well, if you look at the last 3 players, I mean, you got the tomahawk jam from Darius Defoe's great pass, And then at the other end, he gets a hand in to deflect the ball away to Cortez Edwards, and Edwards gave it to Fletcher. Fletcher missed the layup, but Gordon was on the trail and puts it in back for 2.
Yeah, well, here's an interesting stat for you. 156 to 85. Eagles have scored 156 points in transition so far this season against their 85.
Wow. And I think that just shows you on that one where it was and as well.
And it is. You remember the coaches years ago, offense wins games, defense wins championships. Well, you still can't win a championship without defense, but you now can't win it without shooters. And absolutely, as the Los Angeles Lakers showed against the Miami Heat, easy points come from transition. The number of times LeBron James threw a long ball down the floor to, guess who? Anthony Davis. Unbelievable.
Getting out very quickly, the big men, and a lot of really athletic play.
Well, it's the thing these NBA coaches hammer onto the players now. If you're not rebounding, you're breaking.
Yeah.
You don't stand and watch one guy rebound. He's getting that ball, you're gone. All 4 of them. And the Eagles, I think, are getting very good at that.
I think it's a tactic that Leicester have used as well over the years, and they always seem to have somebody out very quickly as well. I can always remember reading Dave Forrester's scouting reports for the Eagles, and it was always, if you miss, you've got to get out because they'll be coming straight out.
Those scouting reports have got through us a lot of games for us, didn't they?
They certainly
from Dave Forrester.
They certainly did.
Where are you tonight, Dave? You normally sneak in.
Josh Wiltshire on for Teddy Okafor. His first action of the night, running the point. 2 left-handers in the backcourt. Mockford up for 2 points. Missed that shot. 2 Eagles go for the rebound and knock it into the hands of Wiltshire, who picks it back up. He finds Baker. Baker backing down. Nice move by Baker. Didn't make the shot, but it'll be a foul on Cortez Edwards, and he'll go up the line to shoot 2. It's actually a foul on Justin Gordon from the side. And Cortez Edwards thought it was on him, but it was actually given on Justin Gordon. So Justin Baker to the line to shoot 2. Makes the first. Misses the second, so he stays at 50% for the season. Fletcher, Gordon, Defoe. Eagles setting up with some nice passes. Good defense as well, but Fletcher splits the gap. Doesn't manage to get the shot away.
Great way to split the defense. It's a pity that one of his own players in front of him just stood still instead of moving. The moment Fletcher was going at the basketball there, that player should have stepped outside the key. It would have been an easy handoff.
The other end, it's Josh Wiltshire replying for 2 points for Bristol to put them back in front. It's 17 to 16. Fletcher, Gordon for 3. Gordon knocks down the 3. Justin Gordon having the game. Eagles up by 2, 19 to 17. 3:15 to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, Justin doing it from range as well as around the hoop.
Wiltshire and Fletcher. Yes, Lockett turns the corner. Nice screen by Baker. Baker's going to put up the 3. Misses the 3, and a great rebound by Justin Gordon. Fletcher. There's the cut to the basket by Edwards. Really on the safe wavelength there. You could see what Fletcher wanted Edwards to do, and Edwards replied with a great cut, and Fletcher found him, and in it went for 2.
Fabulous cut and an equally fabulous pass.
Just Baker finds Lockett. He has a dozy inside. Justin Gordon didn't get the block, and Edozie gets to the basket and left-handed hook for 2. Game still close. Justin Gordon thought about the 3, decided against it. Gives it to Defoe. Defoe gives it back to Gordon. Gordon in off the glass for 2. Eagles lead by 4, 23 to 19.
That was just too easy for the way the Eagles moved that ball around then. There's nobody getting in passing lanes at all on the Flyers team.
Josh Wiltshire's shot is just off. Great rebound by Eric Lockett though, and he puts it in for 2. And we'll go to a timeout and an advert. So, Eagles called that time out, Dave. 23-21, 2:08 to go.
There's been a swing in this game because the Eagles started a bit flat, and that affected the defence. They were pretty, some poor positions off the balls in the Eagles' defence, but that's changed around now. The Eagles are taking up much better positions on off-ball defence, and the Flyers aren't, and that's why the Eagles are moving the ball so easily around that key and around the rim area.
Well, it's not often I pick a player out, but we've obviously on commentary we've already highlighted the fact, but Justin Gordon has 13 points, hasn't missed a shot yet. He has 2 rebounds, 1 steal and 1 block in 7 minutes and 53 seconds.
That's an MVP performance.
Certainly isn't one. He leads all scorers, surprisingly enough.
I'll tell you what, that MVP decision in the cup final wasn't an easy decision because Ramon Fletcher had a great game as well, particularly down the stretch. And I mean, how he got that hoop away at the end, I have no idea. Such a small guy against so many giants, but he got it. Delivered on it.
Yeah, one of the crucial baskets of the final, no doubt about that. Drew Lasker now on for Cortez Edwards. Fletcher finds Defoe. Sure, Adenican's on as well for the Eagles. Can't get that rebound, just bounces off him and goes out.
Well, this is interesting. Going to play out the last 2 minutes with only one starter on the floor.
Yeah, I was just going to say that they've got 4 guys who were all here last year. And obviously the new guy, Shorey Adenican, but it's Bristol on the attack with Wilshire. He finds Lockett in the corner. Lockett's also had a good start of the game. He's got 8 points and 4 rebounds. And that could be 10 points and 4 rebounds. He's second man into double figures.
Yeah, Drew disappointed there because he did a real good job on him, but he expected some help when he got that close to the basket.
Fletcher gets the ball up. Adenican is fouled as he goes for the... I'm not sure Fletcher's pass was meant for Adenican, but Adenican took it.
Well, it was a nicely timed roll to the basket because he was at the elbow when Fletcher set off and he rolled beautifully, and it was good to get a handle on that. Even better with his fake to put it up and draw the foul.
Substitutions for Bristol. Eric Lockett and Marcus Delpeche go back out.
Well, I must say Lockhart, I think, has played with a lot of energy.
Daniel Adozi and Josh Rogers come into the game. Shorey Adenican knocks down the first free throw. Makes a second as well.
Yeah, nice form from the line.
Yeah, look pretty solid.
Still thinking about that block shot against the Riders. Awesome.
The one you didn't think was a foul, eh?
I didn't.
No. Yeah. And here's Okafor who's back on. He steps back for 3. That one's just off. Adenican. Wow, well there. That's sure Adenican at his best. He got up for the rebound and then and Fletcher at the other end doesn't make the 2. I think he got up and blocked the shot. I think you might see that a few times this season. Here's Wilshire going in hard against Adenican. Eddie Matthew. Baker, nice pass to Okafor. Okafor for 3, knocks it down. That was a lovely pass from Justin Baker.
Great shot as well.
Yeah.
Real good catch and shoot form. Give the defence absolutely no chance. That's what you want from modern day shooters who patrol that 3-point line. Guys who can catch and shoot.
There's Fletcher up for
just like that.
2, long 2. Game swinging one way then the other as Okafor attacks inside the last 15 seconds of the first quarter. Bristol holding for the first shot. High score in first quarter, 27-26 to the Eagles at the moment. And they went for the alley-oop. It didn't make it, but doesn't quite get the shot off in time, Justin Baker. And that ends a very frantic and quick first quarter, 27-26 to the Eagles.
Well, that alley-oop player there, here's another stat for you. 406 to 298. Eagles have scored 406 points in the paint against the Flyers, 298. The way this game's going tonight, you would think that would be the other way around. The thing is, though, their desire to get into the paint is not matched by the finishing ability. That's what the problem with Plymouth is, and that's a typical example there. There was no way on earth could he ever take that and the angle it had been passed and stuff it in one-handed. If he'd stopped and caught it, he would have had an easy 2.
Some fairly astonishing stats, I think, in the first quarter. As I've already mentioned, Justin Gordon leads the Eagles with 13 points, hasn't missed a shot yet. And Ramon Fletcher's got 7 assists in the first quarter.
Oh. the one thing I have to say is I was critical at the start about the previous game, which I thought was a poor game, and particularly not a good performance from the Flyers. Tonight's a much better game to watch, and hopefully the fact that they're being so competitive in the same sort of way that Worcester were when they came a couple of weeks ago, really working hard, trying everything they possibly can. A few lapses in defence is letting them down, but all in all, Plymouth are making a real attempt to make a game of this tonight. That should help the Eagles find what their true form is.
Eagles' second top scorer is Cortez Edwards. He's got 6 points and 4 rebounds. For Bristol, we've got Eric Lockett has got 10 points, and Marcus Delpeche has 5. And as I said before, Eric Lockett's also got 4 rebounds to go with that. But pretty even first quarter.
Yep, staying with the formula, 1 starter and 4 from the... Sayers. Did Sayers start tonight? Can't remember. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, Sayers started tonight. Yeah. So you got Sayers and Cortez Edwards. Fletcher is having a break at the moment. And you got Shorey Akinigan right in there in the middle, having a chat with Darius.
Yeah. I mean, there's sometimes, Jeff, over the years that we commentated this game, Fletcher goes to the bench and it would get us a little bit worried. Not when Cortez Edwards is on the floor.
Yeah. So Bristol set us away for the second quarter. Mockford turns down the 3, and in the other corner it was Okafor for 3. He doesn't make it. Eagles tidy up on the boards. Edwards express pace over the halfway. Comes back out to Sayers. There's Lasker. Good defence by Bristol. Nice setup. Denies Lasker space to go inside. He's given it to Defoe on the outside. Defoe now backing down Delpeche. He's going to turn and put up a shot. Don't know if he called bank, but it went in off the bank. He kind of threw it up really. But 2 points for Darius Defoe gives the Eagles a 3-point lead at 29-26. He's Okafor, the reply. Josh Rogers still out there. He's come round. Mockford comes off the screen and again turns down a shot. Gives it to Edozie. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. 5. Right inside 5 now, and they've just about got that shot away, and they did get a shot away. Justin Baker doing well to get in there and knock down the 2 almost on the shot clock buzzer.
Well, Justin Baker might have done well, but Okafor did even better because he spotted that gap. Brilliant penetration. What a lovely drop-off pass.
Shorey Akinigan doesn't make the 2. Here's Okafor back out to Josh Rogers for 3. That's off the rim.
That Okafor deserved an assist on that. That's his second really good move in a row. Took the defence in, saw they were protecting the hoop, kicked it out to a teammate.
Sure, a lot of the skills had got him into the GB squad, but that time he's turned the ball over. Louis Sayers going at Josh Rogers at the other end. That'll be a foul as Louis Sayers tries to go up.
Pretty sure when Teddy Okafor watches the replay of that, he'll realise he had a chance to put that up and over Drew.
Eagles just stuck with the defence. Substitution for the Eagles. Evan Maxwell and Justin Gordon back on. Darius Defoe and Shorey Akinigan come back. So with the exception of Drew Lasker, the Eagles back to the starting 5. And Louis Sayers on the line to shoot 2. Makes the first. Surprised to see a shooter of Louis Sayers' ability down to 63% from the free throw line.
Perhaps too close to the basket for him.
Yeah, if he shoots the free throws from 3-pointers, but he's made both of those.
Probably spends all of his time on his shooting corner threes. Needs to get a bit more to the free throw line in his personal time. Great defense, Draska.
Oh, that's going to be.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
Oh. Well, it looked like really, really good defense, tough defense from Drew Lasker. Then Ben Mockford really almost barreled into him and knocked Drew Lasker flying. And looked like, well, it could have been an offensive foul, but the referee called it as a block by Drew Lasker. So it's a foul on Drew Lasker and the sideline ball for Bristol. I think one or two people having a look at the replay. I think it's different. Could have been a different call. Let's just put it that way. Here's a Dorsey to Okafor. He gets round the corner. Evan Maxwell in his way. Back out. Baker drives hard at the basket. doesn't make the shot but gets his own rebound and manages to put it in. Yeah. He's looking quite useful.
Well, another guy who's working his socks off.
Cortez Edwards comes in the other way but can't make the layup. Evan Maxwell manages to deflect the ball and it comes off Teddy Okafor, and Ramon Fletcher comes back on for Drew Lasker. So the Eagles back to their starting 5. Fletcher inbounds straight away. But,
great defensive effort there from Ben Mockford.
It was, and he got the ball back. Bristol just down by a single point and on the offense, but Okafor's turned it over to Edwards, and that's going to be a foul. Is it going to be an unsportsmanlike foul? No, just a grab.
That really is a ticky-tacky foul where you wish there was an advantage rule in basketball.
Yeah.
I've been quite impressed with Okafor, to be honest, Jeff.
Well, if you look at the standard he's played in Europe, and obviously part of the GB squad, and he does look a very, very accomplished point guard indeed.
I think not having seen much of him, I expect you to see a lot more of Wilshire at the point.
Yeah. As I said, Josh Wilshire's obviously coming back from injury as well. He has Maxwell at the other end going hard against Daniel Adozie, but he can't make the layup. Did well to get his shot in. Eric Lockett comes away with the ball. Here's Okafor again. Obviously Bristol, as soon as they get the ball, looking for Okafor every time to set something up, but this time it's Lockett who steps back to shoot the 3. That rims in and runs out. And
I think that's because they trust him.
Yeah.
I think they trust him to be creative, set things up. Oh, what a pass.
That was fantastic basketball. What a great pass from Justin Gordon to the cutting quarters, Edwards, and Edwards with the reverse layup for 2 points. Eagles still up by 3, 33-30. Okafor once again directing traffic for Bristol.
That sort of passing movement like that builds good chemistry in the team.
Nice move by Ben Mockford, but he doesn't make the shot, and good rebound by Evan Maxwell, and the Eagles are off to the races again, and Fletcher goes straight down the middle. Possibly should have gone to the basket.
I think he was trying to kick that out to Louis Sayers.
And there's a fantastic defensive play by Evan Maxwell at the other end, and is Fletcher going to make... Well, that just rubs salt into the wounds, doesn't it? When you get a fantastic block by Maxwell, gets the ball to Fletcher, and Fletcher knocks down the 3, and the Eagles are up by 6.
I'll tell you what, Jeff, I've been very critical of his careless use of the hands when he's picked up a lot of fouls. That was a fantastic use of the hands.
And this time didn't slap the backboard, so it's a clean block. Baker for 3. Baker makes his 3.
He's making a mark. He's stepping up when needed.
It's Fletcher to Edwards. Yeah. Edwards to Sayers in the corner. Not enough room to shoot it. Maxwell could have had the shot 3. Eagles, the ball's zipping around from the Eagles at the moment. Extra pass every time. Edwards into the basket. Oh, that's a hard foul, but it from Baker.
Yeah. I mean, good camaraderie there between the two players from each side. Quick to help him up.
Oh, it's nothing malicious.
No,
it was a hard foul.
But a hard foul, that's right.
Yeah. But not malicious. So here's...
Yeah, I mean, with Lockhart, Baker and Adozie on the floor, you've got a team that's going to put some energy out there, and Scraps particularly likes to go in after the board end.
Cortez Edwards misses the first of the 2 free throws. Teddy Okafor's taking a seat, and we've got Josh Wilshire on, and I mean, that's not a bad backup point guard to have to Teddy.
Well, you got three Brits there, haven't you? Okafor, Mockford, and Wilshire. You can rotate them in any order you like. You'll always have somebody, maybe. Well, now you've always got somebody who can control the point for them, set things up. I like the way Okafor's doing it, to be honest.
Mockford for 3. That one's just off, but a lovely rebound by Justin Baker again. Definitely making his impact, and he got the touch in there. Brings Bristol back to within 2.
Well, he's well travelled, as you said, and didn't start, but that's probably because he's just very new. But
this is only his 3rd game.
Yeah, if he's going to play like this, he'll be earning a starting spot.
Nice pass inside from Louis Sayers, but Justin Gordon can't make the 2. Delpeche takes a rebound, gives it a Lockett. Bristol playing with a lot of energy. Baker and Gordon battling inside. Baker's going to go hard again. This time he's blocked from behind by Louis Sayers. Ball goes back. Just Josh Wiltshire put a shot up here, I think. Yep, off balance slightly, but it rims in and out. And it's Cortez Edwards that takes the rebound. He was thought about going quickly, but he was looking for Fletcher as well, and just slows it down a little bit. Outside to Gordon. Yes, Sayers turned the corner. Nice pass inside to Gordon. Gordon up in the air, gets the 2 points, and that's going to be a foul on Eric Lockett.
Well, not only is Justin good at elevating the things, he's also good at elevating and hanging and creating a bit of time for himself in the air. That was a lovely touch finish.
Certainly one of the most athletic players I've seen for the Eagles.
Absolutely.
Makes the 2, goes to the line for an extra 1. Darius Defoe replaces Evan Maxwell. Teddy Okafor back on as well for Bristol. It's Ben Mockford who takes the seat. So it's Wilshire and Okafor in the backcourt. Justin Gordon makes his extra 1. Eagles up by 5, 40 to 35 as Wilshire comes forward, gives it to Delpesh. Delpesh looks inside, but instead it's Edozie coming outside. Edozie throws the ball straight to Darius Defoe, who picks it up no problem, and the Eagles are down the other end within 2 seconds. Fletcher to Cortez Edwards, and Edwards lays it in for 2, and suddenly it's a 7-point lead. That was Eagles basketball at its best, with Defoe the steal, quick pass to Fletcher. Fletcher saw Cortez Edwards breaking, and they made it 2. Wilshire can't make his shot at the other end. Defoe once again anchoring the defence, gets away with the ball. Fletcher finds Defoe, who's now on the trail, turns. That's a great pass from Darius Defoe. What a fantastic pass that was to Darius Defoe, and Justin Gordon once again.
It was, but sorry to say this, the cut was even better.
Yeah. I'll not disagree with you, Dave, it was. Good advert break. Well, that 2 points, Justin Gordon's now up to 18 personal in the first half, and we've still got 3 minutes and 18 seconds to play.
Let's talk about what he's doing at the defensive end as well, because Justin Baker has already worked out that when Justin Gordon has got good defensive position on, you don't try scoring over him. Josh Wiltshire needs to work the same thing out as well, and he's nowhere near as tall as Justin Baker is.
You mentioned Justin Baker there. He's played 11 minutes, and he's got 10 points and 6 rebounds, 4 of them rebounds being offensive ones. So again, he is making an impact.
Yep. I like his work ethic as well.
As I say, I was talking to Dave before the game, and was saying that he's been in Europe and Asia since 2011. He seems to play in Australia during the close season, and I'm just wondering if Josh Wiltshire, who does the same, has possibly known him, but he's played in all kinds of countries. Started this season and played for Limassol in Cyprus, but now very much a Bristol Flyer, and looking as if he's spent the last week really getting in tune with his teammates. He's in the paint at the moment as Lockett charges in and lays it in off the gas. He's very athletic and very active as well, isn't he? He's up to 12 points personal. Just cuts it back to 44-37. I think the problem for Bristol is they've got to play a bit better defence.
Particularly in transition.
Edwards into Defoe. Defoe backs down. Abdozi bounces off him. Just can't quite make it. And Fletcher thought he was fouled as he went for the rebound with Lockett, but nothing given. And Wilshire brings the ball over the halfway. Wilshire playing the point. Okafor's gone to the shooting guard position. Great defense from Ramon Fletcher, but Darius Defoe unusually allows Delpesh to get away from there, and Bristol back within 5 after calling a timeout.
Really nice drop-in pass, but Delpesh took an excellent position off the ball.
There's Defoe to Sayers. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Fletcher goes for 3. Fletcher knocks down the 3. Sayers calls for the defense to get back as Okafor brings it up. Wilshire drifts to the far corner. Fletcher takes an eye on him, but it's Lockett, and Lockett's been driving pretty much to the basket every time he's got the ball. Does it again, but doesn't get the shot in this time, and Cortez Edwards it is who takes the rebound. Fletcher pushes it up. Louis Sayers comes inside for 2, knocks down the 2 for the Eagles. Eagles scoring almost at will, 49 points to 39.
Again, it came from transition, and I would say that was a transition basket because the ball never stopped moving, even though, of course, Louis had to do a pretty good fake and step past it to pull it off for the finish.
Bristol down by 10, looking to respond. Okafor thought about the 3, came inside for the 2 instead. Dorsey tries to jam it in, can't make it, and he also got his own rebound, and still missed the chippy when he to go back, but battled hard, and the ball went out off an Eagles player, and it'll be end line ball to Bristol. Andrews Kapoulis makes a substitution, brings Josh Wilshire off, brings Ben Mofka back on, and then Justin Baker, who's just had a brief rest, comes back on for Marcus Delpeche. There's Mockford. Fletcher almost gets the ball away. That was a tough shot to take for Ben Mockford. Good defense by Cortez Edwards, and this time it is Adozi who knocks the ball dead. And the Eagles get a chance with 1:03 to go to stretch the lead again. Fletcher looks one way, looks the other, gives it to Gordon. Gordon is in 2 or 3 minds, I think, there, and he's missed his shot, but good rebound by Darius Defoe and tidied up by Edwards. Sears to Defoe. Defoe takes it on against Adozi, but that's a good steal by Daniel Adozi, and at the other end it's Eric Lockett for 2, and it goes for 2. Cortez Edwards brings it back. The Eagles had a chance to go up by 12, and a 4-point swing the other way, 49-41. Last shot of the half, probably. Will it be? No, Defoe takes it early, misses it. Justin Gordon goes for the rebound. Baker, I think, comes off Baker. Timeout Eagles. 14 seconds left on the shot clock. So 14 seconds left, the Eagles call the timeout. I think it's going to be their ball at the end line. It came off Baker, who contested the rebound with Justin Gordon. Referee's having a chat about it just to make sure, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be an end line ball to the Eagles with 14 seconds left, and I would imagine they'll try and run as close to the 14 seconds as they can.
I think with 14 seconds to go and you've got 1 timeout left, it's good to use it and talk over a set up a play you'd expect to run. But one thing, as you look at the scoreboard there, the Eagles are pretty good defense this quarter. Yet they've done it all. We just clicked in 1 foul.
Yeah, and you know, it's actually been something which I talked to Coach McLeod about, and he said that possibly with the exception of Evan Maxwell, he thinks that his team are doing a good effort, particularly on like fouls, and especially when you got somebody like Justin Gordon who's so athletic and new to the league, and he's never really gone into foul trouble in many games.
Yeah, whoever he guards, it makes it tough for them to score. Yeah, Evan just needs to be a bit more careful with his hands when he's reaching in and things like that. He you know, he's a big, tall guy, and he can use that to help to protect the rim. Just needs to concentrate on. It's all about footwork. Active hands, yes, but your feet have got to come first on defense.
So Eagles get the ball in. Fletcher to Sears. 10 seconds on the clock. There's Gordon for 3. That's going to be short, but Cortez Edwards is there again. And he gives it to Louis Sayers in the corner, but his 3's just off. Justin Gordon goes up, and so unlucky for the Eagles, but it's finished the first half of really an entertaining, fast-paced basketball game. The Eagles lead 49-41 at the half, Dave.
They're 8 up. They're the better team, no question about it, but you've got to say that this is a much improved performance from Plymouth over the last time we saw them, and you got to in particular look at, in terms of energy, Dorsey, Baker, Lockett, yeah, really put a lot of energy in, and then you've got the control and the quality from Ben Okafor as well. So, you know, they deserve to be still in this game, and it's a much better performance from them.
And we'll be back in about 10 minutes or so with some stats for you and to review the second half. But in the meantime, the half-time scores: Newcastle Eagles 49, Bristol Flyers 41. Welcome back to the Eagles Community Arena, and I'm going to give a big shout out to former assistant coach Dave Forrester, who's texted me with a couple of bits of information, telling me I was right that Justin Baker played with both Josh Wiltshire and Jamal Anderson at Townsville in Australia, and that Zach Copeland is out for the season with an injury. I think I remember reading about that now, but just to have a quick look at the individual point scorers for the game. Eagles, Justin Gordon has 18 points and 3 rebounds. Cortez Edwards 11 points and 7 rebounds. Ramon Fletcher 8 points and 9 assists. And for Bristol, Eric Lockett has 14 points and 5 rebounds. Justin Baker 10 points and 6 rebounds. And Marcus Delpesh 7 points. I think Dave's been making some notes for some stats, so I'll pass over to Dave and see which stats he's picked out.
Well, I mean, as a general overview, I think this is a much better game than the one we saw in December, and that's a lot down to the fact that the Flyers improved massively since then. Both teams, I think, are taking care of the ball. Very low number of turnovers, which is good because the Eagles are very good at getting points off turnovers. But you talk to me about shooting, and shooting's a big issue here. Is that Lockhart, Delpesh and Baker have hit 14 from 24, which is good in anybody's language, but the rest of the team are 4 for 20. And you're not going to win games when you're shooting that 4%, and they've not found any easy ones either because they've only been to the free throw line 4 times.
Yeah, I was just looking at that as well, as you said about the turnovers. Bristol only have 5 and Eagles only have 4, but Eagles have 19 assists as well, so that's a massive... a massive assists against turnover, so Eagles doing really well there. And the shooting percentages you just mentioned there, Eagles shooting at 50%, Bristol at 41%. 3-point range, not much in that. Eagles 3 of 9, 33%. Bristol 3 of 11. But again, if you look at Bristol shooting 3 of 11, they've got both Ben Mockford and Josh Wiltshire. Josh Wiltshire hasn't put up a 3 yet, and Ben Mockford is 1 of 3 from his 3-point efforts. Free throws, Eagles have made 8 of 9 and on 89%. Bristol have only been to the line 4 times, 2 of 4. But you mentioned that stat to me about the fouls, and that Eagles had played some tough defence in that second quarter and only picked up 1 foul.
They are, and they're doing a good job protecting the rim and so on, which brings me back to this shooting. When the Eagles are doing such a good job of making it hard for Bristol to score where they really want to in the paint, you need somebody who's going to stretch it, and these guys who you'd expect to knock down the threes, 4 for 20 is not going to get it done.
Just one comment I'd like to think about, Dave, or one question for you. On the rebounds, it's 24-20, which isn't massive, but Bristol have their 24, 14 of them are offensive rebounds.
That shows the effort, isn't it, that they're putting in that's a good thing from Bristol's point of view. It's also a danger. They're doing that against a team that's really good at the break, and you've got people like Justin Gordon who go up there, and Cortez Edwards. Those two will somehow find a way to take a rebound even when they're surrounding, and they're good at getting it out. So Bristol, I'm not sure it's good that Bristol keeps sending 3 players in there every time after those offensive boards. I think they've got to think about not only just trying to jam this outlet, they've got to think about protecting the middle of the court when they get back in transition defence.
Yeah, and just looking down the offensive rebounds, Daniel Adosi has 3, Eric Lockett has 3, and Justin Baker has 4, but Cortez Edwards 7 rebounds, 5 of his are offensive as well.
It's amazing. He's just absolutely, his stats are amazing about rebounds. He's just one of those players who can really do it. He was born to rebound.
Absolutely. So teams getting the last bit of advice from their coaches. And the Eagles come out. Looks like it's going to be their starting 5. Maxwell, Sears. At the moment, the only 2 on court, but I'm pretty sure they'll be joined by, there's Fletcher going out, Edwards as well, and Justin Gordon. We'll see what it looks like. It's going to be Delpesh, Mockford, Okafor, Lockett, and the Dozy for Bristol.
We're talking about the games ahead, Jeff. Do we any insight at all into how long Rex Pfluger might be sidelined?
I haven't, Dave, and to be honest, I didn't even know he was, and I think it's one of those things where I always think basketball's a bit strange in that respect. Or when I say strange, I mean coaches are entitled to do what they want to do, but I did speak to Coach McLeod, and he never even mentioned that Rex was still injured. Sort of thing, you know?
I mean, watching the incident and that cup final, it was obvious he was in quite a bit of pain, and not only that, I mean, when he was so delighted to be able to go up his first season in England basketball and take a medal that he had struggled to get to the table to pick it up.
And Eagles get the second half underway with Fletcher, and gets the ball into Sears, guarded by Lockett, almost intercepted by Mockford. Fletcher to Maxwell. Maxwell thought twice about the three and then shoots the three and misses it. And I know Dave always feels that if you hesitate, you quite often miss.
I was more thinking about the defence there, because Josh Wilshere did the same thing in the first half when he was guarding Fletcher. He got in the right position, he closed him down, but he never challenged. They closed Maxwell down there, not one person challenged his shot.
Eagles almost get a steal there as Mockford tried to go through the middle.
I mean, Maxwell is without question a genuine stretch five in that he can stretch the defence and knock them down from deep. And I'm pretty sure everybody in the league knows that.
Mockford will inbound to Dozy. Waits for Okafor to come and take it off him, which he does. Sears on Okafor. Tough defence from Louis Sears. Justin Gordon up and takes the rebound. Edwards brings it out. Waiting for his teammates to get up this time. Gordon. Fletcher turns the corner. Dances round Okafor. Nice little pass inside to Maxwell, who gives it back to him. Eagles ball. Good defence though by Bristol, and Dozy battling hard and going to the ground to try and get the ball. Only 5 seconds left on the shot clock.
Don't know whether the viewers saw what we saw there, but Andrei Kapoulis was acting as referee, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He knew which player that came off last.
Floor mopped by the moisture removal technician. Edwards somehow dances inside and in, floater right on the buzzer of the 24.
Somehow danced inside, somehow he regained his composure and was perfectly balanced, having been knocked sideways to deliver the finishing touch.
Eric Lockett as well again at this end.
Equally as good there, wasn't it?
Yeah, nice basket in off the glass. A la Tim Duncan. I always remember, always think about Tim Duncan whenever any player puts a ball in off the glass. And there's a fantastic effort from Justin Gordon once again. And it's a foul on Daniel Dozy.
He loves doing that, doesn't he? Going in on his right-hand side and using his left hand.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that, Dave. You're absolutely spot on. He drives hard on the right-hand side and then switches hands and lays it in with his left hand and is fouled in the act of doing so by Dozy. Goes to the line to shoot one. Knocks the one down as well. Justin Gordon up to 21 points personal.
Great advert for young players. As early as you can in your career, learn to use both hands.
Here's Del Pesh. Bristol down by 11, 54-43. Del Pesh will go to the basket. And once again, Justin Gordon playing defense. And Del Pesh completely loses the handle and clatters in, loses the ball, and it goes dead. You talked about Eagles having three players who could be in the run for MVP, but what a performance Justin Gordon's putting in tonight. I mean,
yep.
I know we are the Eagles' normal commentators, so we may seem a little bit biased at times, or I may seem a little bit biased, but Justin Gordon's having some game. And there's a pass to Fletcher, and the Fletcher shot that got in, it would have been an assist. Louis Sears knocks the ball back off the rebound.
Really smart tap out by Louis. That was a great cut by Maxwell. He was just overweighted on the pass.
Yeah, and this time Justin Gordon misses his pass. And there's a nice drive to the basket by Eric Lockett again, and that's a foul by Louis Sears. And we had this conversation the other day, in is it Louis Sears or Louis Sears?
I get told off when I say Louis, so
right.
It must be Lewis.
Right, well, I'll have to try and remember that.
Good job it's not Sheffield Sharks, isn't it? Remembering Nicholas?
Well, the thing about that one is Mike Shaft is the Sheffield commentator, and he still calls him Nick. It's very hard when you've been called somebody with one name all his time.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, back at this game, Eric Lockett from the line is perfect. 2 for 2. Gets them back within single figures. Fletcher brings the ball over. Mockford's guarding him. Finds Sears. Sears on a Dozy. Gives it to Justin Gordon, who turns. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Justin Gordon fade away, doesn't make it, but Ramon Fletcher's in there for the offensive rebound and put back for 2.
Big man act.
Rex Fluger, I don't know how injured he is. Oh, that was almost a highlight play. Lockett's passed to Delpech, and Delpech looked as if he was going to smash it home, but meanwhile at the other end, Cortez Edwards misses his dunk as well.
What's getting into these guys? Lay them in.
2 points is 2 points, isn't it, Dale? That's
Yeah.
all. Mockford for 3 points. That one's off as well. And Justin Gordon comes up with a rebound.
How many did you get? 15 in the cup final, was it? 15 rebounds?
Yeah. I think one of the things as well was, you mentioned it before, you can only beat what's in front of you. And I did read a quote from a London fan which said he wouldn't have had 15 rebounds if we'd had our full team out. Well, how do you know? 1 and 2, you didn't, so you can't really make that comment. But I will say I did give London an awful lot of credit for the way they played in the cup final against
Particularly
adversity.
third quarter.
Yeah, against adversity, and they actually looked as if they might make it at one stage.
In the same vein there, you've got to give credit for Eagles as well, because it looked in that third quarter as though the Eagles might struggle to regain what they've been, the dominance they had in the first half. Well, I wouldn't use the word dominance, but they were the better team in the first half. But full credit to the Eagles for recovering the composure and the way they played and putting that final quarter together. Ware and Williams absolutely got on fire, didn't they, in that third quarter?
Dirk Williams, you talk about MVP candidates, he's another one. Obviously, DeAndre Liggins, who couldn't play because of the COVID regulations.
Apparently there's 6 of them out in the club. Not all, obviously, main frontline players, but that's a great pass.
Great pass from Fletcher, and Maxwell lays it in for 2.
Yeah.
Eagles up by 13.
Thought he used his body really well there. Maxwell sealed nicely, and using either hand, caught it with his right, finished with his left.
Biggest lead of the game is Daniel Odosi tries his look from the free throw line. And that's going to be short, that pass from Edwards. Maxwell got out really well, but Edwards' shot was knocked away by Odosi, who did well to recover on defense after missing the shot. Lockett tries to find Delpech inside, but Maxwell deflects it away.
Well, in fairness, that last pass it just wasn't on because it was over too big a distance. Gave the Flyers player a chance.
It's a technical foul on Ian McLeod. Either the bench or McLeod. Certainly a technical foul. Referee Bowe administers that technical foul. I think it was on Ian McLeod, but it could have been the bench as well. Mockford will take the free throw. Makes the free throw. And then it's going to be Bristol ball at the end line. So a chance to get it down to 10 points. Clearly something was said that the referee didn't like. Mockford gets it into Edozie. Edozie to Lockett. I think Lockett might well go here. Yes, he has. Nice pass inside to Baker, who's come on and with great effect for his first play of the second half. Gets in there and lays it in for 2.
Great finish.
58-48 to the Eagles. 5:50 to go in the third quarter. Fletcher being guarded by Mockford. Sears comes up, takes the ball. Here's Edwards. Edwards going to try and get to the basket and lays it back to Sears. Sears straight away 3 is good. Eagles lead 61-48. Okafor now. Baker. That one's off Justin Gordon. Will be an end line ball to Bristol. Just feel as if Bristol's energy's just dropped a little bit, Dave.
Well, I think also the Eagles are stamping their authority a little bit more in this quarter.
There's Mockford. Looking for the foul, didn't get it. Lockett once again driving in for it. Nice play by Lockett, gets it back to Mockford, but Mockford once again renowned for his 3-point shooting, but it's not there tonight. Edwards it was, who come away with the rebound, and he give it to Fletcher. Fletcher on Okafor. Great steal by Teddy Okafor though. Excellent hands from Okafor. He finds Baker. Baker goes for the three. That one's off. Delpeche almost got the rebound, but he couldn't gather it in cleanly, and Fletcher steals it from behind, and Eagles on the offense again. Fletcher going to try and go all the way, finds Evan Maxwell inside. He knocks it, throws it back out, extra pass to Justin Gordon, but it's not, the three's not made.
I think you probably learned that I love the inside-outside game and what it creates. That was a terrific dish out by Maxwell.
I think a lot of people might look at it and think, oh, he should have gone up, but he really unselfish play. Justin Gordon was wide, Louis Sears was wide open. Baker to Lockett. Lockett, I think he's going to be fouled by Justin Gordon as he flashes past.
Well, obviously, we all love the layup, but sometimes you love the three because it creates the layup.
Massive substitutions for Eagles. Sears, Gordon and Maxwell take a break. Alaska, Adenican and Defoe come on. .4:27 to go, 61-48 Eagles lead. Bristol on the offense. Eric Lockett. He finds Baker. Baker for three, knocks it down.
This guy could prove to be a useful asset to the Flyers.
Yeah, he's looking good. I mean, inside-outside game. I mean, 6'8", and he can knock down a three quite nicely. Fletcher back to Edwards. Here's Defoe. Defoe to Fletcher. Wiltshire almost picked it off. Fletcher finds Edwards. Edwards for three, right on the button again of the 24-second shot. Great play by Ramon Fletcher, who's putting on a clinic where assists are concerned.
And what I liked about Edwards is he had time to look at where he was and do a step back to get that extra point. Oh, that was pretty smart of him.
That was Fletcher's 12th assist of the game. Cortez Edwards' 16th point of the game. Fletcher has the double-double, 10 points and 12 assists. 64-50 Eagles lead. Here's Okafor. Lockett. Lockett going at Adenican, but I think that's going to be a block and foul on Adenican. Yeah.
It was, but I'm not sure what he could do because, to me, Lockhart pushed his left arm out there to push him away. Not sure exactly what Adenican could have done.
Let's take the foul. Dorsey now waits for Lockett again. Tremendous energy, Lockett. Finds Okafor. Okafor back out to Wiltshire. Wiltshire, nice ball movement, and it's Baker for three in the corner. Doesn't make it, and Adenican takes the rebound. Nice ball movement though by Bristol.
Fantastic ball movement. You've got to give Drew Lasker a lot of credit of how quickly he closed down Baker.
At the other end, Fletcher's three-point shot short, and Lockett takes the rebound. Drew Lasker, another excellent defensive play, gets in the way for there, and Adenican tidies it up, and Fletcher's at the other end. Here's Defoe from the elbow, doesn't make it though. Okafor takes the rebound. Both sides just misfiring a little bit at the moment. Lockett thought about the three at the other end. That's going to be a foul by Drew Lasker. Or is it a foul on Darius Defoe? Yeah. It's actually a foul by Defoe inside on Baker as they were battling for position. Eric Lockett takes a seat. Ben Mockford comes on. So for the first time, I might be right. I might actually be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure this is the first time Wilshire, Mockford, and Okafor have all been on together. Certainly the first time I've noticed it anyway.
Well, it's a good time because the Eagles have got three guards out there as well with Matthews, Fletcher and Lasker.
That's going to be a foul on Adenican. It's just Wilshire using a lot of experience there to draw that foul as he went to the basket. He'll go up the line to shoot two. I was just about to say something there, I'm pleased I didn't. I was just going to say that Josh Wilson is probably one of the best free throw shooters in the BBL. He was actually at 100% before that shot. Makes the second though. I'm not sure it can be commentator's curse if you're just thinking it. If you've got to say it, I think. Bristol actually if you look at some of that free throw percentages, are one of the best free throw shooting side in the league. There's Defoe. Eddie Matthews thought about the three and drives into the basket and is fouled as he drives in. He split the defence really well and almost got there. I think he would have made that layup if he hadn't been fouled.
Yeah, it was a good foul though, wasn't it? I mean, don't put your curse on Eddie.
Well, actually, I always think about Eddie. I remember we coached him, Ian and I coached him as a under 18 when he was only 14. And he used to make free throws for fun then. But since he's become a professional, his free throw percentage hasn't been quite as good, although he has knocked the first one down there. And I'm just looking at 60% for the season.
Well, that's not good, is it, for a guy who can
shoot the three?
Yeah, shoot the three so well.
But he's made both of those, so that will increase his percentage. So well done, Eddie, there. 2 more points for the Eagles, 66-51. Just edging a little bit further in front again. There's Josh Wiltshire. Oh, he's got all the way to the basket. Adeniran comes across and, well, he's been adjudged to have fouled. Probably did just take the arm as well as the ball, but he got a lot of the ball as well.
And I think he's had, 3 fouls in the last probably less than 3 minutes?
Yeah.
And all of them have been marginal, but probably that one was right.
Wiltshire knocks the first down. I think what we have seen from Shory Adeniran is that he's going to go for the blocks regardless.
It's going to help to protect that rim, that's for sure.
Wiltshire makes them both. Josh Wiltshire up to 6 points personal. There's Lasker, Defoe, Matthew turns the corner, back to Defoe. Defoe finds Fletcher. Fletcher shaking and baking, stepping back, knocking down the 2. What a bit of play that was from Ramon Fletcher.
I think that was
even his coach looked impressed there.
Well, I think that was the step back of the century.
In, out, shake it all about, and in it went. Wiltshire for 3 at the other end. Can't leave Josh Wiltshire open like that, and he knocks down his 3. And Josh Wiltshire starting to find his legs in the BBL. Only his second game back. There's Fletcher in to Adeniran. Adeniran spins to the basket, rolls in, and
nice bit of footwork.
Knocks down 2 points. Gives Fletcher his 900th assist of the game. Mockford turns a nice pass from Okafor, and Wiltshire from the other corner knocks down a 3. Josh Wiltshire really getting into the game now.
Well, he's certainly feeling it at a good time as well. When the Eagles are correct up to 15, 16 points, it's a good time to knock 6 down on them.
Long pass from Fletcher to Matthew in the corner. Matthew's lost that to Baker. And could get down to single figures, but Drew Lasker comes from behind and pinches that one. And Darius Defoe tidies up. Great defence from Drew Lasker.
Yeah, I think that was a tough decision for Eddie Matthews to make, because by nature he should want to be a catch and shoot and that, but he had to jump so high off the ground he simply couldn't get set.
Matthew gives it to Defoe, who charges at the basket. And nothing given, no call either way.
Baker's got a smile on his face as wide as the River Tyne.
Okafor in and out inside the last 20 seconds. Matthew takes him all the way to the halfway line. 6 seconds left on the clock. Okafor to Odozie. Odozie can't pick it up. Is Fletcher going to go for the heave? He is. No good. So it ends at 70-59. Eagles up by 11. And Bristol did well to come back there, particularly with Josh Wiltshire.
It was good timing. Good timing, those knocking down those 2 threes. And in all honesty, that's something that the Flyers just needed in their game, because the Eagles have done such a good job at defending the paint. They've done such a good job at making it difficult for them to have easy looks around the basket. So it was good that somebody could actually try and stretch that defence out and make the Eagles recover up to open the middle a little bit more for the Flyers.
So Eagles lead 70-59 as we wait for the 4th quarter. I'm just looking down there at the Morningside Arena at Leicester, and there's a real good game going on there. 5.5 minutes left in the 3rd period, and it's Leicester 45, Sheffield 45. Really, that looks like a really good game down there. But back to this one, and just looking at the point scorers, Justin Gordon has 21 points, Cortez Edwards 16, Ramon Fletcher 12. Ramon Fletcher's also got 13 assists. And Cortez Edwards has got 9 rebounds to go with his 16 points. So Fletcher already on a double-double. Cortez Edwards just 1 rebound away from a double-double. For Bristol, Eric Lockett, 18 points and 8 rebounds, is having a really good game. Josh Wilson off the bench now has 11 points. He's 2 of 2 from the 3-point range, made him 2. Justin Baker, who we've mentioned, has looked really useful. He's got 14 points and 6 rebounds. Marcus Delpeche hasn't improved on his half-time statistics, 7 points and 3 rebounds. He's the 4th top scorer there for Bristol. So, 10 minutes ago, Eagles lead by 11. Far from done this game, and Bristol sticking in there. And I think if Bristol can find this kind of form and this kind of play on a more regular basis and get all these guys together on the same page, they could be causing a lot of problems for teams. And interestingly enough, as I say that, don't forget these two teams meet again on Tuesday night down in Bristol in the first round of the trophy. The trophy, obviously the other trophy that Eagles currently hold in the trophy cabinet, along with the BBL Cup. And that's the defence starts down in Bristol on Tuesday night, 6 o'clock tip off down there. So these two teams will know a lot about each other going into that game, and I believe they play a league match not very much longer afterwards. Nice pass from Baker inside. Delpeche, good cut to the basket and lays it in for 2. And we're down to a 9-point game as the Eagles come up with Edwards. Edwards finds Defoe. Defoe doesn't take the shot, backs Delpeche down, gives it back to Edwards. Edwards does really well to float that ball in, but doesn't make the shot. And that's going to be an Eagles ball, as though everybody was battling for the ball. Andris Kapoulis incurring the wrath of the Eagles staff. Well, he may be the owner, but he's also the staff. Defoe, Matthew turns the corner, finds Defoe. Defoe for 2, that hits the rim, comes out. Josh Wilson takes the rebound. Eagles just struggling a little minute for the offense, and Bristol not all great behind the back pass from Josh Wilcheth to Baker. Baker gave it to Okafor, but his 3-point shot was short. Darius Defoe with the rebound. Edwards now brings it forward. Adenican sets the screen. Darius drives all the way to the basket, and that's going to be a foul. And I think it's on Marcus Delpeche. Yep, it is on Marcus Delpeche. That'll be his 3rd foul, I believe. The Eagles make changes. Matthew and Adenican come off. Sears, Gordon on.
Well, you said before the game, Jeff, that the Eagles have instincts about knowing who to go after on defence, and I think they've gone after Baker and Lockhart very hard in that last quarter, which is why Delpeche needs to step up, and you need the guards taking advantage of the Eagles' attention to those 2 forwards.
We mentioned Marcus Delpeche before the game. He's averaging 17 points and 8 rebounds a game, and yet he only scored 6 points in the cup match here, and he's only got 9 again tonight. So the Eagles definitely have done a bit of a job on him. And as you say, if Bristol ought to pull this 11-point gap back, he's going to be the one that they need. But there's a great hand by Louis Sears, flicks that ball away, and there's a great transition. Sears knocked the ball away from Okafor to Lasker. Lasker gave it back to Sears, and Cortez Edwards on the trail was fed by Sears, and he laid it in for 2.
Yeah, and that's immediately sent Kapoulis to the bench, probably wanting to call a timeout.
Wilshire's 3-point shot this time is off. Drew Lasker goes through the middle and was met by Baker. Referee's talking it over as to whether it's going to be given as it's definitely a foul on Baker.
I think common foul is right. Sorry, production team. I think a common foul is right. We can overrule our production team on these calls, can't we? Even though we're not referees at all.
Foul was on Baker. It's a second foul on Justin Baker. I was just wondering because he's wearing number 65, and I'm just wondering. I didn't see the referee signal 65, but maybe he's down as something else in the book for the table. But it was foul on Justin Baker anyway, and it was an Eagles sideline ball. Eagles now got the ball up. Justin Gordon and battling with Eric Lockett. Eric Lockett does a really good job, and Baker Gordon throws the ball away. Wilshire at the other end. That one doesn't quite make it from Josh Wilshire, who's going in amongst the trees. And it's Darius Defoe who picks up the rebound. Edwards to Fletcher. Fletcher to Gordon. Flicks it back out to Fletcher. Fletcher goes inside. Manages to get past Lockhart and Wilshire and lays it in for two.
I think his left arm grew about a foot there to get that ball around the defender.
I think everybody in the league knows he's going to go left and think, that's the scouting report, and yet he's done it for years and years and years, and very hard to stop. Perhaps that's the secret there. Maybe a few nice player inside there by Bristol though. Good reply. Eric Lockett found in Delpesh, and Delpesh lays it in for two, takes him into double figures. Just hanging around Bristol, 13 points down. Here's Justin Gordon for three. He's missed that one, but Cortez Edwards takes a rebound, and then he gets the assist as Justin Gordon cuts to the basket and slams it home with one hand.
And defense thought that was all over. They didn't realise the Eagles were still live. Really poor defense. Sorry, Bristol Flyers, but that was just your defense completely giving up and switching off.
Marcus Delpesh at the other end. He is trying to get more involved, but he doesn't make that one. He's battling with Darius Defoe. Fletcher lays it off to Edwards. Edwards back to Defoe. Defoe, what a great pass that was from Defoe. And a fantastic reverse layup by Ramon Fletcher. But what a pass from Darius Defoe.
Been known for all sorts of things in his 17-plus year career, but I didn't think it was point guard play like that. That was awesome pass.
So the Eagles now up to 17 points in front, 80-63, and Bristol Flyers call a timeout to see if they can stem the flow.
I mean, I thought.
So, yeah.
I was just going to say, I thought that Andreas had gone to the table before to call a timeout, which, you're trailing. You've got 3 timeouts. There's no point keeping them. I think he probably needed to have used the timeouts a little bit earlier.
I think the point you were making before about the way the game's gone, you're looking at the point scores and the scorers for Bristol, and you got 3 of your starting 5. Ben Mockford on 4 points, Daniel Adozi on 2, and Teddy Okafor on 3. Now Teddy Okafor obviously is a point guard, so he has got 5 assists and 5 rebounds, so that's not necessarily his game to score the points, but it's a poor return from both Mockford and Daniel Adozi.
Well, we worked out at half-time what was happening in terms of points with the 3 of them hitting 4 from 24 and scoring most of the points. And obviously the Eagles have signalled out them now. So it's up to the others to step up.
So 6:44 to go. Eagles lead 80-63. Chance for me just to thank Eagles' main sponsor, they do great work in grassroots sports, and that's Give to Local, and sponsor the Eagles this season. Big thank you to them for sponsoring Newcastle Eagles. Sure they're enjoying it as well, knowing now that they sponsor the BBL Cup winners. Bristol on the offence. Teddy Okafor does really well. Oh, lovely pass, but for some reason Marcus Delpesh decides not to put it in the basket and just give it to Darius Defoe instead. Great pass again from Fletcher. Edwards in, nice little soft touch in off the glass. Wow, these two are some act. Fletcher and Edwards almost on a different planet to everybody else at times, the way they combine. Eagles up to 82-63. Really doing a job on Bristol now. Eric Lockett trying to get Delpesh to set a screen. Gives it Okafor back. He has Josh Rogers for 3, and Josh Rogers knocks down the 3. Well, Fletcher looked a little bit disgruntled about that, but he's probably looking at the score as well.
Terrific ball movement by the Flyers. I don't know whether Rogers.
Oh, there's another pass from
used
Defoe.
to knocking down threes, but he's been on the bench the whole game. He comes on and his first touch, he's knocked down a 3.
And he gets a block as well at the other end on Cortez Edwards after Darius Defoe's excellent pass. Defoe going for yet another assist. I think what we can say about Bristol is they've played some really nice basketball, particularly at the offensive end, but their defence just hasn't been good enough. Nice pass though there. See, that's exactly what I mean. A really nice pass from Lockett to Delpesh and a good finish.
Much better finish from Delpesh.
82-68. 5 minutes left in the ball game as Fletcher brings the ball forward. Fletcher now has 14 assists with 16 points. Lewis Sears, sorry. Fletcher, he knows exactly how much is left on the shot clock, and Justin Gordon had to put up a tough shot, well defended. He has Lockett driving hard at the other end, doesn't make it. Delpesh goes up, gets the rebound and puts the 2 points in. And I think Ian McLeod just wants to have a word with his team as Bristol get back to within 12 at 82-70. We've got some quite interesting stats I'm going to throw at you. We'll start with the visitors, and we've got Eric Lockett on 18 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, probably their leading player at the moment. Justin Baker, 14 points, 6 rebounds. Marcus Delpesh all of a sudden is up to 15 points with 4 rebounds, and he has stepped up a little bit. Whether it's enough, we'll wait to find out. Josh Wiltshire has 11 points. For the Eagles, we have Justin Gordon has 23 points and 6 rebounds. Cortez Edwards has 20 points and 11 rebounds. Ramon Fletcher has 16 points and 14 assists. Some pretty impressive numbers there. Louis Sayers with 9 points and 4 rebounds as well from the bench. The guy who we haven't seen very much of at all, Evan Maxwell. Only 14 minutes, but you can hardly, this is where, Coach McLeod earns his money, working his team around.
You mentioned Baker, and the thing that you've said 3 times now in 3 different breaks is he's on 14 points. You have to say that the Eagles have been very effective in him. But I don't know why McLeod called that time-out. But one thing I would have been annoyed about is an Eagles have missed a fairly easy chance, and 3 of them didn't get back on defence.
There's Fletcher going in hard, flicks it out to Sayers. Sayers over his head to Gordon. Gordon gives it inside to Maxwell, whose eye is back on now. Maxwell trying to get to the basket is fouled, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah. I mean, you have to say that was pretty easy situation. I mean, it looked impressive, but to be honest, that was a pretty easy situation for Bristol to defend because the Eagles had no spacing.
Yeah, and especially Justin Gordon got tangled up in the middle, but Maxwell did well. Fouled in the act of shooting. Makes the first, so he's come off the bench cold and get involved straight away.
I mean, good position that Evan Maxwell is in. He had 2 players on him, whereas the third player who was involved in that was simply stood completely unguarded. Little slip to the side, being a nice easy bank shot.
Maxwell makes both shots from the free throw line. Eagles shooting 15 of 16 from the free throw line. Good numbers. Ian McLeod will be pleased with those numbers. Good defense as well. He has Josh Rogers again in the corner. This time Josh Rogers knocks down another 3. Perhaps they should have put him on earlier.
Where's he been all game, coach?
84-73, 3:50 to go. Fletcher and Edwards exchange passes. Sayers does well to drive in, but unfortunately can't make the layup. Eric Lockett comes away with the rebound. He's got to go coast to coast. Doesn't make the shot though. Cortez Edwards tips it to Louis Sayers, who tidies it up. Fletcher showing us 1 or 2 skills with his ball handling. Justin Gordon up, that's going to be short. Guess who takes the rebound? Offensive rebound, Cortez Edwards. Gives it back to Gordon. Gordon now shoots the 3. He's missed the 3. Cortez almost gets in for another rebound, but it's a foul.
We've got 2 offences at the Eagles end, 1 offence at the Flyers end for offence. Lots and lots of action. Get close to the basket and they can't finish it.
And it's another timeout for Andreas Kapoulis in Bristol as we approach 3:16 to go. So 3:16 to go. Eagles lead 84-73. Bristol with the ball, so they have a chance to get it down to within single figures.
Yeah, I mean, Bristol are not going away, are they? And they're not going to go away for the next 3 minutes, 16 seconds. They're going to hang in there to the end. And I think the Eagles maybe need to just set up a little bit more. You know, by all means, take the wide open, obvious transition. But if it's not obvious transition, then set up a little bit more. They ran a beautiful play. I don't know what they call it, but it's sort of circular movement from everybody. But they're simply not finishing off them.
Fives come back out. Maxwell, Sears, Edwards, Gordon, and somewhere Fletcher are up here. Yep. And for Bristol, it's Delpeche, Rogers, Mockford, Okafor.
As commentators say over the years, 3 minutes 16 is a long, long time in basketball, but you do feel that if Plymouth are going to have a chance, they have to score in this offense or the next one. They have to make some scores right now.
Justin Gordon, nice pass from Ben Mockford, and there's a nice finish by Marcus Delpeche, who suddenly is up to 17 points personal.
Well, all Eagles' eyes there defensively. All I can say is they must all have been on the movement around the perimeter. How on earth did nobody pick Delpeche up?
Fletcher gives it to Maxwell. Maxwell, a bit timid there. Evan Maxwell gets it back and gets to the free throw line and knocks down the two. So it didn't take the three, but did take the two and knocked it down from Fletcher's pass. 86-75.
Nice little two-man interchange as well.
Okafor. Rogers guarded by Justin Gordon. Almost intercepted by Edwards, but it's Okafor. He gives it into Lockett. 4 seconds left on the shot clock. He's going to have to put it up. Does put it up and puts it in. Nice play by Eric Lockett again. Still that 9-point gap.
Yeah, they're still hanging in there. They've finished those two offenses, which is important. Still in with a chance.
Clock ticks to 2 minutes. Fletcher cuts the corner, and he goes, lays it up, doesn't go. It's over Justin Gordon's head. And quick break, but Cortez Edwards,
terrific defense.
Yeah, I'll let you describe it.
Well, that was a wide open chance for the defense. Great defense.
It was Okafor looking to get the Lockett, who was away, and Cortez Edwards managed to get back and deflect the ball away. Ben Mockford for 2, and that's well short. Just a little look at Ramon Fletcher. He's still out there, obviously, for the Eagles. He has Louis Sears corner 3. That one's off. Evan Maxwell tries to bat it away, but Marcus Delpeche, that comes away. Ramon Fletcher looks to me as if he's just struggling a little bit, Dave.
Well,
don't suppose he's going to come out as Eric Lockett goes to the basket again, and that's going to be given us 2 points. Just go and give him
1:22 to go, and you've got it down to what, 7 points?
7 points. And the press comes in.
The Eagles need to be more clinical in this offense.
The first thing they do is get the ball over halfway.
Just.
Well, I think Fletcher knew exactly what he was doing. I'm going to give him the credit there because
16.5.
Louis Sears' 3-point shot is off again. Mockford gets the rebound in front of Maxwell, and as we tick to the last minute, great steal. Great steal by Louis Sears, but the ball bounced off his foot, and that's been given as a foot violation.
Well, as much as I talk about Louis Sears developing his catch and shoot, I'm not sure that was the time to take it when the clock's ticking away. I think you needed to run a little bit more time off the clock in that last offense.
So 58.1 to go, 86-79, Bristol ball at the sideline.
Of course, the counter argument is had he made it, he would probably have finished the game off.
Bristol really showed a lot of character, come back really well here. Gives them a little bit of momentum for Tuesday night as well. And there's Ben Mockford doing a fantastic job to drive to the basket and lay it in with his left hand. And they're back within 5 points now. 43 seconds left to go. Eagles slowing it right down.
Yeah, the right thing to do. Keeping your eye on that 24-second clock.
8 seconds left. Louis Sears doesn't get the drive. Eagles clock shot down, comes off him as he goes up for the shot, and I think that's going to be a timeout. to Bristol, who may well advance the ball.
Well, 26.4. You don't need to be a genius to work out it's a 2 offensive game. They have a chance.
Somehow, from somewhere, they've clawed their way back in, and they showed terrific spirit and terrific character. Eagles, well, we can't say they've gone to sleep because they've kept going, but it's quite surprising. They were up 17 points at one stage, and now it's only 5, and Bristol have got the chance to cut that to either 3 or 2. Yeah.
Well, I see things at both ends. I think the Eagles need to have an offense where they're more clinical and more structured to help them to finish these games when another team's coming back in a situation when you think they should have been dead and buried. And as you said, Flies have showed a lot of character.
Terrific effort in particular from Eric Lockett. 22 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. And a really good game. Ben Mockford coming alive there with that great running layup for 2 points. But I suspect that it's you've got plenty 3-point shooters as well. Just checking that they are going to advance the ball, and they are. So you talked about Eagles having a good offense, but what they need first of all is a good defensive possession here.
Would certainly help if they could get a stop. Flies don't need a 3, but it would be useful if they got one.
Darius Defoe's come on for Evan Maxwell, probably for the defensive work.
They did a lot of that, didn't they, in the cup final? Offense for defense.
Justin Gordon doing a great job on Josh Rogers. Oh, this is really good defense for the Eagles. That was fantastic defense from the Eagles, and the ball was stolen by Luis Sears, and there's a foul by Eric Lockett. That was fantastic defense. That's what I was talking about. They needed one good defensive stop.
You could see the agony on Kapoulis' face there. He knew they had one foul to give to get before they could put the Eagles on the line and try and stretch the game out. Just didn't get that foul in quick enough.
So Luis Sears coming up with a big steal for the Eagles.
The Eagles don't need a shot. That's it.
There was always going to be a foul there.
Yeah, they're always going to give them the shot, and from the easiest place to score on the court, the charity stripe.
Ramon Fletcher going to the charity stripe. Here's the commentator's curse. 15 to 16 the Eagles are from the line tonight. That's 16 to 17.
17 of 18 coming up, Jeff.
Confidence from Dave. And he's right. 17 of 18 takes Ramon Fletcher up to 18 points personal to go with these 15 assists. And Josh Rogers thinks I'm going to have 2 more points. Thank you very much. Lays it in. And it's gone very, very quiet as ball comes in, and that's the end of the ball game. 88-83, and to me, Bristol deserve a lot of credit for the way they came back, but really, Eagles were in control of the game for most of the game.
Yeah, they did. They let it slip there. I can't put my finger on why. I don't know whether it was complacency, whether it was making too many substitutions. Evan Maxwell didn't look comfortable when he came on. Yeah, he did some good things, but in the end, they've got the results, and this is what makes teams, isn't it? When you can scrap out these wins.
Yep. So that's 88-83 to the Eagles. That's another win in the championship for them, keeping them right up there at the top of the league. And these two teams will do it all again on Tuesday night, but it'll be down in Bristol this time for the first round of the trophy. And then next Friday night, it's the Worcester Wolves who come into the Eagles Community Arena for another BBL game. So for myself and Dave,
just 2 things before you finish there.
Dave,
I mean, Eagles obviously, it's a knockout. Just so we know it's not a 2-leg situation, it's a knockout. So that's not going to be an easy game for them. It's down there and it's a knockout. And the team that's coming here next Friday is in a bit of form at the moment.
They are, and they've got obviously got their Americans in, which they didn't have.
Good game to look forward to.
Yeah, we didn't have their Americans the last time, so that should be a good game. And before I do finish, 2:38 to go down in the Morningside Arena at Leicester, and Leicester have done their usual second half performance. They lead by 6 points. It's 70 to 64. But as we know, 2 minutes and 6 points, that could be. Sheffield could still come back yet. But from Dave and I, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next week.